Hello everyone, Tommy Cat here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own Piggy game in Roblox. Let's go. So the first thing you want to do is get the main menu. So this part's going to be making the main menu, and that's pretty simple. So you insert a part, and this is going to be for a camera. We're going to hit anchor to true and can collide to false, and we're going to set the size to 2, 2, 2. So now we got like a nice cube. But now how do we know which way our camera is facing? So you want to make sure the material is plastic. Then go to front and then set it to something like studs. Once you do this, you can see this is where the direction of the camera is going to be pointing. So we can just move this up and we can delete that. I don't know what that is. Okay. Anyways, we can delete that and type in camera part. We can just set it to a color, so we're going to make it red so it has like some type of property. And that's going to be right here. So then when you hit, you know how in Piggy you hit play and then the camera moves to a different position facing at some other characters and shows you if you're spectating or not. So we're going to duplicate that and call it camera part 2. Change the color to nice green. And then you can just change the position of that. As you can see, when I hit play, what it's gonna do is it's gonna move over and then it's gonna set its C frame to the exact same C frame as this part. So once we do that, we can set the transparency to 1 and group it and call it to main menu map. So we got our main menu map with our 2 cameras. So now let's start creating the actual menu GUI. So we're going to add a screen GUI and call it main menu GUI. So once we do that, we're going to add a text label. We can set the anchor point to 0.5, set the position to 0.5, 0, 0.2, 0. And it'll be at the top. We can set the background transparency to 1. We can set its size to 0.5, 0, 0.3, 0. And now you can see, actually, we might do 0.6. And you can see we have this nice border. So now let's customize our title. So we can do text scaled. The creator of Piggy used the fantasy font, I'm pretty sure. And then he used an image label for the title, but we're going to use a text label because it's a lot more easier, and we can do Piggy game or tutorial. So you can put whatever you want here as your game title. Now you got that. We can rename this to title. Now we're going to add the button that we clicked to move to the camera. So we can do the exact same thing. Set the position to 0.5, 0, 0.4, 0. Make sure transparency is set to 1. We can set the size to 0.2, 0, 0.1, 0. We can scale it. We can make that the text color white, and then we can change the font to fantasy, and then we can use the text stroke transparency and set that to 0. And we can change this actually to like a nice green, and we can move it down a bit, and then we can put play for the text. So we got our main menu now, and we can type this in as play button. Okay, so now we're going to add the camera script. So we can do local script and type in camera handler. And what we want to do is define our variable. So we can do local camera to go workspace.current camera. We can do, and that's basically it. That's our only variable we need. We can do repeat wait until camera type is equal to enum.camera type.scriptable. We could just copy this and paste it here, but just remove that, and then bam. And then we can do a camera, or we actually need the main menu map, so we could do local main menu map is equal to workspace wait for child main menu map, and then we can do main menu map dot camera part C frame is equal to main menu map dot camera or I should say camera.cFrame is equal to the main menu map the camera.cFrame, or camera part.cFrame. So if we play this now, once we got the script done, as you can see, we got our main menu, but we can't do anything with the play button. And we can see our character. So what we're going to do is hide the UI by clicking this button right here. And we can create a little spawn location. We can set its transparency to 1 and just move it off the map. We can set its size to probably like, let's just do 20 by 20, or 20 by 1 by 20. So now we have like a bigger area. So what we can do is we can go into the starter player. We can scroll down and you can see dev computer movement mode and dev touch movement mode. So computer is like how you move. So you can do user choice. Scriptable means you can't move at all. So I'm going to set that to that. And then touch is for like mobile players. So we can obviously set that to scriptable. So now once we play, the players cannot move. And yeah, so what we can also do is probably just set the force field duration to 0. So now let's script the play button. So we can add a local script, and we can also show the UI again by clicking this button, and we can rename this local script to play handler or play client. So what we can do is so we need to define local camera is equal to workspace.current camera. We also need local main menu map is equal to workspace wait for child main menu map. We can also do local camera part, or we need to do a function now. So we got our variables, so now we can do our function. So we can do function tween camera, and then we can do pose, tween time. Okay, so now what we can do is define another variable and call it tween service. And we can do that. So we got tween service. So we can do down here, tween service, create camera, tween info, dot tween info, dot new, and then we can do probably like we need to do the tween time, enum the using style dot linear. You can set this to whatever you want, like you can set it to sine or linear. This is how like linear is just like a basic just no easing styles at all. Easing styles are like how it moves. So bounce by an example would be like that. And so it's like it like fades its position to another it goes from like point A to point B. So now what we can do is do cFrame is equal to pose.cFrame, and then we can just do play at the end. So that's our camera movement script. So now what we can do is do script.parent.mouse button one click connect function. We can actually probably do button, so we can do local btn is equal to script.parent, and we could just change this to btn. Now what we want to do is btn.visible is equal to false, and then we can do btn.parent.title.visible is equal to false. So we're just basically hiding this. And then what we can do is call in our tween camera, and then we want to give the position. So main menu map dot camera part to let's just do 1 second, and then we can do wait 1 and print reached destination. So it's just gonna alert us we made it to the position. So just open this and then open your output, then play the game. So now you can see I hit this button and it moves our camera over here. Now what we're going to do is make a little shop icon. So we can duplicate the play button, just remove the script in it, and then move it down. I'm going to adjust the size to probably like 0.15 by 0.1, so it's a bit smaller, and change this to 07. So we got like a little thing. I'm going to change the text color to red, and then we could do shop. We can rename this button to shop button. Now we're going to create the shop frame. So we can just select all of these and then set visible to false for now. And we can create a scrolling frame. And we're going to set its anchor point to 0.5 and then set its position to 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0. And we can set its size to 0.7, 0, 0.8, 0. So it's nice and big. We can set its probably background transparency to 20, 20, 20, or 30, 30, 30. So it has a nice outline. So now we can set its border size pixel to 0. And we can probably adjust this to be, set this to 10. So you can see we can scroll down a lot and it won't like, if there's too many images, it won't like max out. So we can rename this scrolling frame to shop frame. So once we do this, we're going to add a thing called a UI grid layout, and we can just rename it to grid. So what a UI grid layout does is when an item like an image label or whatever gets added here, it's going to set its size to whatever you set its size in here, and it'll continue if it has enough space. So we can do image label, and then we can just duplicate it, and as you can see, it goes like a shop. So it's super easy instead of repositioning it. So it does it automatically for us. So what we can do is call this shop, or we can do a quick, we can hide this, and now we're just going to add a local script, and then we can basically call this shop client. And before we start scripting the shop client, we're going to go back in the play client and do btn.shop or .parent.shop btn.visible is equal to false. So we hide the shop button as well. Alright. So we can do is local btn is equal to script.parent, and we can do btn.mousebutton1 click clone connect function. Now what we do is after getting the function, we can do btn.visible is equal to false and btn.parent.shopFrame.visible is equal to true. We can do btn.parent.title.visible is equal to false, and btn.parent.playbutton.visible is equal to false. So if we play it now, and we can, I forgot to show all this. So the visible to true, so you got your thing. Now we got this, so if I hit shop, you can see this appears. So how do you go back to the play thing now? So we're going to duplicate the play button again and drag it down here, and we can do return as its text and just set it to white. And rename it to return shop btn. So we could just set its visible to false already. And yeah, we don't need to add a script into it because we can do now into the go back into the client and do btn.parent.return shop on visible is equal to true, and then we can do btn.parent.return shop on mousebutton1 click clone connect function. And what we can do is btn.parent. We can just basically copy all this, and once you do this, so you want to do the complete opposite, so false is true, so we could just set this to true, false, true, true, false. So now if we play it, you can see I would hit shop, and then the return button will appear, and then we can hit return, and this comes up, and we can hit play, and it plays the game. So that's it, and I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you do, make sure to subscribe and like, and turn on the notification bell. See you. Bye.